Hello again, everyone, and welcome. Good afternoon. This is our Pep Talk third episode, the Pre-Employment Preparation Talk web series. So, thank you for joining us again. So, the Pep Talk is a regular virtual series designed to prepare the graduating students for employment by equipping them with the necessary knowledge through talks touching on various topics delivered by industry professionals and experts. And as you can see in your screens right now, these are our first two episodes. You may rewatch them at our FEU Capo Facebook page later on. So today's webinar is being live streamed via Microsoft Teams. It will also be premiered at the FEU official Facebook page as well as at the Career and Placement Facebook pages, if not tomorrow on Friday. Nevertheless, we are also live via Facebook right now. So if you have your friends watching, you may share the link. Just go to the Career and Placement Facebook page and invite more viewers to watch because this is very informative. So, without further ado, we are gonna start. I would like to remind everyone to please keep your microphones on mute at all times to avoid unnecessary noise. And at the same time, you may submit your comments and questions anytime at our conversation page, which can be found at the right side of your screen if you're using a desktop, or at the live Q&A tab if you're using any portable device. So for our topic today, we will be touching on two major topics, contextualized for the new current work setup, professional appearance and grooming in the workplace, as well as how to prepare and ace the all-important job interview. Now, both of these are essential aspects for our employment, so please make sure to stick with us until the end of the program. You will definitely learn something new today. So, without further ado, allow me at this point to call on the Director of the Career and Placement Office to give her opening remarks. Please welcome to your screen Ms. Maria Carmencita Babes Suba Alfonso. Ma'am, your microphone is on mute.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for that. Thank you very much, Sir Nathan. Our distinguished speaker, our Senior Vice President Maria Teresa Trinidad Tino, our Vice President Mr. Joven Castro, our deans, faculty members, students, and co-employees, good afternoon, and thank you for taking a time out of your busy schedule to join us today. The recent academic year showed us a preview of how things will be, even after the pandemic, where many might be able to cope with easily, some may endure hardships. As we shift to a new paradigm, adapting to this so-called new normal will largely depend on how prepared we are, especially our graduates. With this, the FEU Career and Placement Office, or CAPO, has designed a 13-part series webinar to give the students the basics of working and finding a job amidst the new normal. We have also prepared and migrated online all other activities designed to help prepare our graduating students for the new world of work. Online mock interview and coaching, online exclusive recruitment, student exposure to industries, to name a few. We shall be posting all this in the official FEU social media sites and Canvas, so please check out our event posters and calendars. For this episode titled Professional Appearance and Grooming for the Workplace and How to Prepare and Ace the All-Important Job Interviews, we are grateful to be joined by the CEO of JobStream, founder of the app that helps job seekers and employers find each other anytime, anywhere. Its analytics makes it easier for candidates to discover the right job for them, based on their skills and competencies. It is a tool in assisting the graduates in their journey, whether through employment or volunteer opportunity, that set them up to be successful individuals and make their meaningful contribution to a team of like-minded co-workers. We are indeed lucky to have her today as she will be able to give valuable contributions in equipping the students the basic know-how and preparation for the world of work. And while the current situation may be challenging, there are still opportunities out there for everyone to discover. As you explore the possibilities, always remember the mantra, be brave, because Tamaras have always been resilient to whatever comes our way. And now, without further ado, allow me to introduce our speaker. She studied information technology at AMA Computer University. As a young adult, she was eager to explore the world and learn about other cultures, grabbing opportunities to work in her early 20s. Starting her business career, she immigrated to Dubai and worked for 2 years in real estate development before moving to Canada to work as an OFW to work as an OFW. During this journey, she continued her studies while working to gain more knowledge and experience. She graduated with a network and internet security course from CDI College. With her motivation, she continued to acquire business intelligence certificate at the University of Calgary. By this time, she had moved into technology sector and was employed by an IT consulting firm. With proficiency in CRM, virtualization, SQL, data security, project management, network architecture, and technical reporting, it is her combination of skills with these technologies that she became a very reliable network analyst with various clients in Canada. Currently, with her spare time, she is devoting to UX UI design course. Throughout her journey, she experienced many challenges when seeking opportunities both local and abroad. This became her inspiration and vision to help communities. And that is where she decided to develop JobStream application. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to your screens the CEO and founder of JobStream Inc., Ms. Maridel Mampusti. The screen is yours, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday, you guys. Thank you for inviting me back. Thank you, FEU Capo. Thank you to all the students who's joining us this afternoon. And I am here today to present and to share about how to prepare and ace the all-important job interview, professional appearance, and grooming for workplace. And I have a bonus topic for you guys is digitalization, the paperless and the video resume. But before we dig in to these exciting topics, I want to introduce myself. I am the CEO. This picture was last September 2019. So that was our launch, the app launch here in the Philippines. So it was conceptualized in Canada and eventually it was moved here in the Philippines. Down below is my favorite quote. Simula nung nag-lockdown or at least sa pandemic. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. Everybody agrees? 'Di ba? Kasi we've been through a lot of series of challenges nowadays, and I think we all have to be resilient sa nangyayari ngayon, and yeah, and me being sharing the topics and of course the platform sharing with you guys, it's really my honor na to be part of this webinar. So thank you again for inviting me back. So just a brief background of JobStream. Like you guys, I know students, you have to go through a series of, after you graduate, you have to go through internship and then you have to find job. Guess what? Been there, done that. And it's always challenging because you always have to start somewhere and then you have to build and you have to prove yourself, right? So JobStream is a powerful mobile application that helps students like you to find opportunities. So whether you're looking for internship, OJT, full-time, part-time, or volunteer opportunities. So when I started this, I was jobless. After 2 years of vacation, um, sabi ko, okay, I'm gonna go back to workforce. I'm gonna do what I'm really good at, which is in information technology. Then I'm gonna carry on with my career. But unfortunately, uh, last 2015 we also had a downturn. 2014, I think. We also had a downturn in Canada. So when I was trying to go back to workforce, I cannot find jobs. All the companies are laying off. So same situation, but this time around, it's pandemic. It's a new challenge for hindi lang sa Philippines, all over the world. So we're trying, all of us, we're trying to figure out how are we gonna survive this pandemic. So I went through a series of walk-in interview, job fair, lots of website. I tried downloading different types of apps. So I went through this job seeker journey. And so as I go on, I noticed na there's a lot of inefficiency. And take note, nasa Canada na ako during that time, and it's supposed to be advanced technology and everything is parang quick and easy. But then guess what? It's not. So there's a lot of inefficiency, waste of time, waste of energy, waste of money, because you still have to print your resume, you have to give your resume. And then so from there, I started conceptualizing an ideal application for millennials like me, millennial job seeker. What would be the ideal quick and easy application if I am a job seeker? And that's how JobStream was born. Next slide, please. Job interview. So before we dig in, I want to ask anybody if does anybody had an experience na work experience or anybody who tried to attempt to go on interview for applying for a job. Kasi a job interview or any kind of interview, it's probably the most exciting and the most nerve-wracking experience. And me myself, I still always educate myself. I always still um, keep learning when it comes interviewing, sa mga public speaking, and I actually sharing this Nathan earlier that I have a coach who will always guide me when it comes to public speaking. But anyways, there's a lots of types of job interview. So there is face-to-face interview, which is the traditional one. There is phone interview. You will come across with panel interview where akala mo nasa scene ka ng movie where the spotlight is on you and you're stuttering, you're sweating. So you get all that experience. Pero there's always a first time, but then there's always a room for improvement, right? And nowadays, very trending ngayon is virtual interview. And before my first public, not really public speaker, first time that I was in FEU, I did a face-to-face speaking with you guys. So what was it, marketing students, na Nathan? So I shared my journey as an entrepreneur naman. So nowadays, wala siya ngayon or hindi siya pwede ngayon. So now we're doing a virtual webinar. So this is really exciting, at the same time nerve-wracking din sa akin. It's because it's a first time for me then to interact over a webinar. Okay, so to be successful, of course, you have to invest on yourself. And I am here today to give you some few tips to be successful, whether your interview is for internship, for OJT, for part-time, full-time. Kasi it is the first step to get that dream job or your job that you wanted to get into. So let's start. Next slide, please. All right, so how to prepare and ace all-important job interview. So I'm just going to share with you my personal experience. And this was when I was 21 years old. My first interview was in BPO industry because it was boom back then. So that was, I think, early 2000. So my goal is to get a job. There was no, because I was young, all I wanted to get a job so I can buy things and, normal, young lady who wants just to get a job. But then I never realized that you have to prepare and you need to be presentable. And there's a huge aspect that you have to prepare if you really want to get that job. Because guess what? It's really competitive out there. So in short, because I never really invested on myself, I failed multiple times. There was a lot of failed interviews. So first is one of the learnings that I did is you really have to research the company and the position that you're applying. So why? Because there are some interviewers that or recruiters that will say, why do you want to work here? Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin na, kasi gusto ko, di ba, sweldo lang habol ko. Kasi you have to showcase and they really need to know na if you're interested because every company will see a long-term vision because they're investing on you. The moment that they interview, they're investing on you, they're investing time and money once you sit down on an interview room. And next is you have to, of course, know the job position that you're applying. So if you're a newly grad, you don't want to apply on a managerial position, right? So you have to do that as well. And then study and know your resume. I'm going to go back to my personal experience. I had a resume, but I never really know what's in it. I did it, but I never study what's in it. So there's a difference between that. So meaning when you sit down on an interview room, you don't look at your resume so you can answer the interviewer's extra or recruiter's question. So you need to parang be conversational and natural pagdating doon sa during the interview. I remember na the recruiter was doing an interview and then anong year ako nag-graduate, I can't even answer. So I'm just giving her a rough estimate. So that's not a really good sign for a recruiter for you to get hired, di ba? Kasi ibig sabihin, you are not prepared and you don't know your resume. Next is be honest and be yourself. So if of course, as a student, there's a lot of things that you have to know. Pero being yourself na, if you don't know certain things, it's okay to say, no, I do not know that. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that. Next is practice your answers, your most common interview questions. Kasi the beauty of the internet is you can always do a research. So I'll give you some 10 common interview questions. So number one is everybody knows this. Tell me about yourself. So and you're the only one who can answer that. And it's easy if you study and practice. Keep practicing na parang highlight kung ano yung gusto mo. And it's okay to say kung ano yung hobbies mo kasi that's something that an interviewer wants to know kasi maybe they have some sort of activities sa companies that you can fit in. So next is why should we hire you? So again, you have to prove yourself na bakit ka namin i-hire. So you have to highlight that. This is 3 and 4 common question is what is your greatest strength and what is your weakness? So really challenging, di ba, to answer kasi para ano nga ba yung strength ko? Ano nga ba yung weaknesses ko? So again, you just have to be honest kung ano yung mga weaknesses nyo. If you don't have work experience, it's okay. You can refer back to when you were a student. What was your greatest strength when you were a student? What was your weaknesses? What was your weaknesses, but you eventually na overcome mo yung weakness na yon. That's something that you should probably highlight sa recruiter. Next is what is your salary expectation? It's always awkward to talk about money, kahit kanino, di ba? But first, you have to do a research. If you're doing an entry-level job, you don't want to ask for 100,000 pesos a month, di ba? There's a lot of free websites that you can refer to. First, you don't want to undervalue yourself, pero you don't want to overprice. Again, there's a lot of candidates kasi na looking for a job. Pero you can always say, you guys, that I am open for negotiation. So that's another thing. So next is, why do you want this job? So bakit nga ba? So you're the one who can only answer that. Diba? So maybe you want this job kasi you've seen some of your friends are ang ganda ng culture nila, very cool, maganda yung office nila, so something like that. So you need to do a little bit of research dun sa company. Next is, how do you handle stress and pressure? If you don't have work experience, that's okay. Again, go back dun sa mga, siguro nung nasa school kayo, I'm sure there's stress, there's pressure, and you can make that an example. You need to be authentic every time na you go to an interview. Kasi if you're just gonna come up with stories, that's also not a good sign. Remember, these are trained people and they can read you. So don't lie, right? So next is, describe a difficult work situation or project on how you overcame it. So same thing, I'm sure you guys have. I remember when I did a talk, one of the students, he asked, I forgot his name, pero ang question niya sa akin is, paano ma-overcame yung ganitong situation when they're doing a group project. Paano siya makiki-blend in, kasi he really wants to finish this project pero he's having a hard time or challenging sa kanya na yung iba is hindi nakikipag-cooperate. So you can make that as an example too. Next is, what are your goals in the futures? Very common yan na tinatanong na ano, because they really want to see what are your vision. I know sometime na minsan ako nung first interview ko, na-shock ako kasi parang wala naman akong future plans eh, kasi parang first work ko to eh. So again, you can sit down and have that written down as early as possible. So you're prepared. Kasi the worst thing na mangyari sa interview is you stutter and you cannot answer and you freeze, 'di ba? And then you parang hiyang-hiya ka, tapos pawis na pawis ka. So yon. So those are the common question. But there's so many websites who offers, marami yan eh. You can go hundreds of common questions. But the beauty of the internet is you can always research in advance. And then practice. Yeah, so practice your common interview questions. And then next is, be presentable during the interview. Like you guys as a students, you always go to school, naka-uniform kayo, presentable. Same thing in during the interview and workplace. You really have, kasi first impression yon, 'di ba? So you really don't wanna parang masyadong casual first interview. You wanna make an impression and impact dun sa interviewer. Next is, take the time to follow up. So, pero not naman to the point na kakalabas nyo pa lang sa interview room, nagte-text na kayo or nag-i-email na ako, did I get the job? Did I get the job? So, you have to remember, I'm sure there's a lot of candidates naka-line up for interview. So, you have to respect their time and just be polite when you do a follow-up email or a follow-up phone call. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so next is professional appearance and grooming for workplace. So yeah, once you get the job, right? So you always want to maintain a good image sa workplace, sa work environment. Same din when you go sa school, di ba? You're always part of the rules is you really have to be presentable. So one is make sure you wear clean, appropriate, and presentable clothes. I'm just gonna give you an example. I was the only female network analyst when I was in Canada, dun sa firm na pinagtatrabahoan ko. And so I started one client. Because IT, ang iniisip lagi ng clients, IT, lalaki, medyo geeky, walang social skills and all that. So, binigyan ako ng isang client and they were testing me. So then lagi akong naka really presentable, naka business attire ako actually. Pero really what we're doing is networking. So nagko-connect kami ng lines and everything. Maalikabok ako. One time we had to install hundreds of computers na kailangan namin paganahin. So na-impress yung boss ko kasi lahat nung mga male kong colleagues was parang ako lang yung naka presentable. And then eventually I ended up handling 10 clients kasi lahat binabato sa akin kasi especially yung mga very conservative and traditional, which is yung mga law firms na kahit na maglakad ako is almost I'm one of the lawyer kasi lagi ako nakasuit eh. Kahit na nag-check lang ako ng email ano. So they were really impressed. So that's why it's really important na you have to be presentable at all times. And of course, personal hygiene, diba? So always be neat, and that includes brushing your teeth, yung fingernails always clean, your face, your hair, and even your shoes. Next is respect companies' dress code and grooming policies. Every company has a different rules and regulations, and you have to, of course, respect that. Next is tattoos and body piercing are okay as a form of body art. But please be aware and please understand that some companies, again, are still conservative. So just be aware of that. And then next is health and safety issues. So because of the pandemic, we are now required to wear mask at all times. Even sa office namin, kahit na hirap na kami dun. Minsan kasi ang hirap mag-breathe sa mask, di ba? Sabi ko, we have to follow yung rules ng DOLE and the social distancing. So it's the same thing. I'm sure this is gonna be part of our normal lives. So again, have an extra mask at all times and observing social distancing. Okay. Slide 6, please. Slide 6. Yeah, okay. So just quick tips. Again, dressing have an impact on self. Para sa sarili nyo, you feel more confident kasi colleague and customers, your clothes convey the message that you are confident, presentable, ambitious, and sincere. Next slide, please. And proper grooming and professional appearance are important to both men and women. Lack of this may lead to poor image and can interfere with the company and brand reputation. So, kasi once you get hired, you are part of the branding. So, whether na if me, kahit na IT ako, lagi ako nasa likod, lagi ako nasa server room, hindi ako visible sa front ng company, wala ako sa reception. It doesn't matter. You're part of the company. You're representing your company at all times. So again, it's really, really important sa company yon. And again, we have to respect yung company's rules. Next slide, please. All right, so this is yung bonus topic natin for today. So JobStream kasi, we're really pushing for paperless and the video resume, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit later. Why paperless? Kasi here's some advantage. One is you save time, money, and accessibility. So when I was a job seeker, when I was in here sa Philippines, sa Dubai, sa Canada, uh, believe it or not, I still have to print multiple resumes, and I have to go through different job fairs, and you kind of sit and wonder na parang anong ginagawa nila dun sa papel na yun right after. So that's why we're pushing yung paperless resume, and also save the money. Why? Kasi not everybody has their own printer, or even if your printer, you still have to buy yung paper, di ba? Nowadays, it's really easy to upload your resume sa Google Drive, sa OneDrive, sa Dropbox, di ba? So and you can always have it on your phone. So if you think na, oh, I'm really interested in this job posting, you can always just send the link, send it via email, di ba? So, and it also eases the transfer of information. Again, yung accessibility, right? And again, we all know na sa environment is you don't have to print so much, and where does paper come from? Sa trees. So, if you go paperless, you're already saving trees. Next slide. All right. So this is another bonus topic, which is video resume. So video resume, we include this sa platform, one of the features ni JobStream. So our thought process when I conceptualize this is really taking advantage of the technology. Kasi lahat tayo may cellphone, lahat tayo nag-video, nagpipicture, di ba? So, I mean, it's so easy to push this video resume and send it and showcase yourself. Kasi at the end of the day, you're really marketing yourself, di ba? Sa video resume. So just to give you a brief background, dati na si video resume back in the 80s. So when video resumes were recorded, and guess what? Nag-umpisa sa VHS tapes. Ewan ko kung naabutan nyo yun, pero that was long time ago. And normally before, mga executives lang ang nakakaano kasi ang isang VHS tape noon is quite pricey. Tapos isasubmit mo yun sa company. So with the ease of accessibility to the internet and technological advancement, making and editing video resume has become much simpler. A video resume, also known as video profile, is an enhancement of traditional resume that offers an opportunity for the candidates to create a lasting impression. It also enables the candidates to showcase their skills and gives employer a glimpse of candidates' personality. So ano ba yung mga advantage ni video resume? So again, an ability to showcase your abilities. So you can highlight your skills, you can highlight your hobbies. It's all about you. Lahat tayo di ba, height of vlogging ngayon. I'm sure nakapag-vlog kayo, nakapag-video kayo, pinagsisend nyo kung kani-kanino. So, hey, guess what? Madali na sa inyo gumawa ng video resume, di ba? Next is a compact answer to everything that the recruiter wants to know about you. So I gave you the 10 common questions. So isusqueeze in nyo yan sa isang video. And guess what? Hindi na kayo kakabahan kasi wala si recruiter sa harap nyo. So you have this parang more comfortable moment na almost na parang, di ba? Hindi na kayo kakabahan, hindi na papawisan yung kilikili nyo. So, yon. And then enables to create customized first impression. Kasi again, I understand if you're a newly grad, wala kayong working experience, and you only have video resume, this is the time to highlight yourself. Exposes the willingness to learn and keep up with the current trends. ensures better visibility, and creates lasting impression. So again, the beauty of video resume is you can do it 100 times to make it perfect, diba? So again, you guys all have cell phone. It's easy to recreate it. You can practice at any time. So yeah. This is not part of the slide, pero I'm gonna touch upon the following tips that will help you to create and capture your true self. So hashtag be professional as always. Um, Kahit na video resume yan, you still have to be professional kasi guess what? Recruiters or owners of the companies ang makakatanggap yan. Again, keep a script handy. Sa JobStream, we have yung parang you could put in kasi yung mga basic questions eh. And then para may guidelines ka, may bullet points ka. So para hindi ka nagsastutter when you do a video resume. And of course, practice for perfection. Again, do it all over again. Ang beauty ng cellphone is when you do a video, you can always delete, repeat, diba? Until you're happy, you're satisfied, and you're ready to send it. Know your audience. So again, that will go back to the research of the company. So sino ba yung pagsasendan mo ng video resume na to? Ito ba yung recruiter? Ito ba yung manager? Ito ba yung owner? So somehow you have to do your research. Next is edit well. So be sure to keep your video short and to the point. Get rid of distracting background noises and arrange the shots neatly before you submit it. Do I still have time? I'll do the do's and don'ts.
Yes,
Yeah.
we still have time.
Okay. Yeah. So very quickly, do's and don'ts of producing a video resume. So do is shoot your video on a tripod if possible, or use a webcam. If not, find a spot that is stable. Don't do this na as if that you're vlogging. Make sure na hindi shaky yung video. So next is use a proper lighting. Computer screens tend to make videos look darker, so added brightness can improve image quality. So here in my room, I have multiple lights. So just find yung well, one yung angle mo at saka yung proper lighting. Next is film close-up. Against a solid color surface, avoid prints and remove any clutter in the background. Next is dress in professional business attire, just as you would go for an interview. Again, this is like an interview, pero this time you're giving them every answers na to make it easier sa recruiter. Keep your video short, no more than 1 to 3 minutes in length. Look directly into the camera and remember to smile. Make sure there isn't any background noise like music, talking, or phones. If you Google tilaok ng manok sa YouTube, it's really funny. She's doing a video resume. Tapos merong nagtilaok ng manok sa background. Tapos nagmura siya. So na-viral yung video niya kasi ready na siyang isubmit yung ano niya tapos merong tumilaok sa manok. So make sure na wala yung mga ganong noises when you do your video resume. Practice what you're going to say ahead of time so that you speak naturally and clearly. Tapos, before sending it, review your video, edit it if necessary, and if you're happy and if you think na polished na and ready to send. Okay, so don't. Here's things na you don't speak too quickly. Earlier, we did a dry run and Nathan and Miss Babe sabi niya, you're speaking too quickly. So I hope na medyo okay na siya ngayon, Nathan. So thank you for doing that kasi I needed that. I'm also practicing eh. Wear heavy makeup or distracting accessories. So avoid that. Gesture with your hands too much as it can be distracting. Use phrases such as like, at, too often. If you're about to use one of these, just pause for a moment and just resume talking when you parang na-organize na yung thoughts nyo. And again, the beauty of that is you can always retake it, diba? Until you're happy and satisfied and ready to send. Mix your personal life with your professional. So stay focused on how you can add value to the company. Expect your video resume to replace your traditional resume. Some employers don't utilize video resumes due to concern about discrimination issues, hiring candidates because of they look and sound rather than based on their qualification. However, a well-done video can boost your chances in many fields. So just again, same as traditional interview, just be yourself, be honest, and research. So yeah. Okay, so that's the end of it. Thank you very much for again for taking some time today to listen and be part of this webinar. Let's connect. If you guys have any question, here's my information, my email. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website is jobstreamapp.com. So yeah, if you have any question, just feel free to reach at any time.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma'am Maridel Mampusti, for that very informative talk and tips that are very useful for our students. I'm sure they are excited now and at least more prepared to enter the work force. And without further ado, we're gonna move on to the question and answer part. And I've been reading a lot of interesting questions for you. So guys, for those who are watching, if you have other questions, please post them on our live Q&A tab and I will read them to our speaker. Yan, may mga humahabol pa na questions. So our first question, Ma'am Maridel, is from Glory May Vidamo. Goes like this. So now we're at the pandemic, right? How will companies know if you are really great for them, knowing that they only saw you virtually? So papaano po kaya yon?
Like I said, you have to highlight your strengths, right? And be honest when you're doing an virtual interview. Nowadays, to be honest, it can be very challenging because there's a lot of people got laid off. So you just have to be patient when it comes to sa pagdating sa mga interviews kasi sometimes you have to go through a series of interview until you hit yung spot or yung company for you. Again, it's really competitive world out there, lalo na especially sa pandemic, maraming nawala ng trabaho, maraming naghahanap ng trabaho. The best thing that I can suggest is highlight your strength and be honest when you're doing a virtual interview.
Okay, thank you. And another question from J. Ann Mendoza naman. Usually, ma'am, how long po yung tinatagal ng mga job interviews?
So it depends. So initial, kasi you're gonna go through initial interviews, di ba? So first is initial interview. Normally, 15 to 30 minutes kasi again, there are trained recruiters. So if they kind of know na kasi kagad once they kind of get all the information that they needed. So yun minsan yung length ng ano. Meron naman iba-iba ang style ng interview ng companies. Minsan you have to go through panel interview muna before a one-on-one interview. Pero normally ang initial interview, which is yung binigay ko sa inyo na 10 common questions, is it usually lasts 10 to 30 minutes.
All right. And then this one is I'm gonna combine 3 questions na from all anonymous na because they all go at the same thing.
Okay.
The question is parang how to be more confident in speaking ba? Parang what are the things that they could practically do? Tapos sabi pa ng isa, job seekers usually feel nervous in job interviews and they tend to mess up the interview itself. Ano daw yung practical tips para naman sa nervousness, wag kabahan?
Okay, so yung very first interview ko, most likely kasi pag first interview is you get to stutter, you get to get nervous at all time. It's part of, as an individual, that's part of growth. Kasi pag new environment, especially kapag wala kang experience or anything, yung emotions mo, mixed emotion, yun yung butterflies in stomach na ano, um, nauunahan ka. So yung even if how much you prepare dun sa ano mo, interview, minsan nauunahan ng emotion. So you need to stay calm, 'di ba? So I always do breathing exercises. So parang before ako pupunta or anything na gagawin, para mag-inhale, exhale ako ng 3 times para mawala yung stress, para mawala yung kaba. Pero please note na kasi if you don't have any experience pagdating sa interview, it will happen na magsa-stutter kayo, na ang bilis nyo magsalita, and ano. Pero at one point of your life, you're gonna figure it out eh. Kasi masasanay kayo. Kapag yung first interview nyo, nag-fail kayo, second interview, I know, you know exactly what to do na eh. Kasi na-experience nyo na yung una. Diba?
Yeah. So, yun. And then, by the way, promote ko na lang din kasi may may isa ring tayong pasyon. I had an interview during job fair and nag-practice daw ng common interview. Pero nung nandun na sa actual interview, kinabahan. Meron tayong online mock interview with coaching. Pero later, I'm gonna repeat it again. So, stay tuned. Yeah. So, this one is an interesting question din, Ma'am Maridel. Sabi niya, there is a question sometimes, diba? Lagi tatanong ng company, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Ano daw yung dapat sabihin? Should we say ba that we would like to stay in the company, or is it okay to mention na gusto mag-grow and explore sa ibang company? Paano kaya sasagutin ito?
Alam mo, yes. One of the common question. You know what the recruiters are really is really analyzing how you answer. It's not really about ikaw ba talaga magsistay? Kasi nag-invest kami sa'yo, papasweldohin ka na, hindi ganon. It's really about your vision on how you going to handle yung certain question na yon. So again, you have to be honest, di ba? And if you really want to grow as individual, if you want to be manager in 5 years, 10 years, nasa sa'yo yun. Kasi again, that's your career growth. Pero ang tinitignan dun, parang ano yun eh, what do you call it? Behavioral question, di ba, Nathan, is how you gonna answer yung mga on-the-spot questions na yan. So, pero ang beauty nun, again, is as early as before yung interview, you can always practice and you can parang ano na yung question mo. Kasi you can't, alam mo, parang bad answer when you say, I'm gonna be in the company still, ganon. Kasi, really? Di ba? Parang totoo ba yan? So now you're lying to them. Again, there are all trained professionals and they know if you're lying or not. So again, be true to yourself.
I see. Okay. And then, what are the effective methods po in recovering from a poor first impression? Kasi usually, di ba, nakaka-intimidate din yung mga interviewers. Tapos, napangunahan ka na ng kaba, nag-stutter ka, akala mo bagsak ka na kagad sa interview. How can we recover from that first impression?
Well, first you have to reflect on how you did on a certain interview, 'di ba? Parang kasi magkakaroon ka ng every time I remember when I had my interview, parang iisipin mo yung mga ma-remember mo yung tinanong nila, pero yung the way you answer it. So, again, collect your thoughts. Kung paano mo siya dineliver yung unfortunately sometimes kasi fast-paced minsan ang recruitment, so you just have to learn from it and do better sa the next interview. So you have to learn from your first interview or second interview. Ako nga I think 5 times ako nag-fail before ako makakuha ng job, yung first job ko. And ano yon, no lie yon. Kasi ang hindi ko ginawa is hindi ako nag-practice, hindi ko inaral yung resume ko, and every time I go to an interview, hindi ko inaral yung company. So until nung medyo naging comfortable na ako, and then ginawa ko na siya step by step, yung 5th time is a charm for me, yung first job ko. So Yeah.
At least, and take a look at you now. You're the one speaking, di ba?
Exactly.
We
Yeah,
all grow, we all learn. Sabi naman
exactly.
ni Justine Clarence Miano, what are the chances ba of a fresh graduate na may Medicor not so good academic grades, pero okay naman yung interview niya? May bearing ba yung academic grades, transcript sa magaling naman ikaw sa interview?
Um, you know what? Kasi discretion ng company yon. It's really their discretion kung ano yung basis nila, how we're gonna get past. But really, there are some companies, and I'm gonna give an example, si Tesla. Hindi siya nagbe-base sa grades, hindi siya nag-ano. It's really the willingness of an individual. Um, And kami sa JobStream, I have mga interns na hinar ko as full-time kasi I've seen yung eagerness nila as an individual. So again, discretion ng company and your eagerness, how to, 'di ba? How badly you want that job. So
All right. And our last question before we close our event, required po ba na mag-English or to be fluent in English?
um you have to so if Tagalog yung tinanong sa'yo or ano, you can always say it in Tagalog. Pero really the practice kasi, especially as Filipino, it's always English. So again, the beauty of it is you can always practice. Yung common questions kasi na lahat searchable na yan, you can always make a script on your own and you can just keep practicing. And yes, as much as possible, English yung ano. Later on kasi minsan, medyo maano na ng recruiter yan, magtatagalog na yan. So, pero kumbaga, what do you call it? Parang impression and that you have to say it in English.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. So, I'm sure ang dami talagang natutunan ng ating mga students. And ayan,
Thank
pati
you.
tuloy ako napataglish na rin. So, thank you very much, ma'am. I'm afraid that's all the time that we have for the question and answer part. So, if you guys have more questions, just post it there. We'll try to get back to you through typing.
Okay.
Okay, so for our synthesis, so our speaker talked about three major parts: the tips in handling an interview, grooming and appearance, as well as a bonus topic about digitalization, which is about being paperless and how to do a video resume. But the bottom line out of all of this is you always have to invest in yourself. So by investing in yourself, you have to do your research about the company that you're applying, the position that you're applying, and also research about yourself because sometimes most companies would ask about you. So there you have it. That concludes our pep talk for today. And in behalf of the FEU Career and Placement Office, again, we would like to thank you, Ms. Maridel Mampusti, the CEO of JobStream, for her precious time, and also to our students, our faculty, and our employees for joining us and for always supporting us. We do hope that you guys learned a lot from this webinar. I hope you will join us again next week for another Pep Talk episode. Our topic will be about career essentials, writing a winning resume, what and how to write a resume. That will be on June 26, Friday. Just check the Career and Placement Office from time to time for updates. I would also like to announce that for the month of July, the Career and Placement Office will have a series of online mock interview with coaching. So here is your chance to actually undergo an interview because this activity is designed to train our senior students and graduates in handling a job interview for internship or actual employment through a workshop and simulation, which aims to enhance your communication skills and personality development. You guys will be coached by successful FEU alumni, FEU faculty, and industry partners. So you may register. Just check our FB page from time to time. It will be out sometime soon. Ayan. So thank you very much. And as we end, may we invite all of you to join us in singing the FEU hymn.